Hey guys, it's me SlyGumbi, and today I am finally bringing you a short tips and tricks video for Holo Pilot. For those of you who are familiar with my streams or my other videos, you are plenty aware that this is my all-time favorite ability. For those of you who are not familiar and have not given the Holo Pilot a try, then maybe this will help you understand a little bit more about what it can do. What is the point or purpose of the Holo Pilot? Well, think of it as your own distraction stick. It is intended on drawing fire and attention from enemy players so that A, you gain knowledge of their location, B, you can get the drop on an opponent while they are focused on your holo, C, you can use your distraction stick to peel any pursuers off of you if you need to readjust and gain health or even want to reset the encounter with your opponent or opponents, D, if you want to be a douche, you can even plant 2 holos on a downed opponent while you dip potato chip all over their face. So with that said, let me show you the different ways you can cast/activate your new temporary make-believe BFF. The Holo Pilot basically mimics whatever you as a pilot are currently doing when you activate it. If activated while standing still, your holo will activate on your exact location and continue to stand there until it disappears. Same thing goes for if you're crouching. If activated while walking, it will walk in the direction you were facing when it was activated. Same goes for sprinting. It will sprint in the direction you were facing while it was activated. Also, crouch walking works. The holo will only go in the direction you are facing regardless of the direction you are moving. For instance, if you are strafing sideways, it will walk forward instead of strafing with you. If activated in the air, it will always land and walk in the direction you were facing when activated. Even if activated while jumping backwards, it will land and continue to walk in the direction you were facing. Same rule applies to air strafing. And jumping forward. It can also wall run. And if nothing interferes with its path, it will transition nicely down off a wall and continue to run. Oh yeah, it also wall hangs. If activated while sliding, it will shoot out ahead of you and eventually stop in a crouched position. It will always slide at full speed regardless of your fast or slow slide. For those slightly more skilled with the momentum aspect of the game, you can even cast out the Holo Pilot in any direction while sliding. If you're being chased, you can easily gain distance by jumping and casting a holo behind you towards your pursuer. For you masters at bunny hopping, or whatever term you want to call it, you can even cast a holo in any direction while you're skipping across the map. Now that we've covered how to cast/activate your player bait, I'll show you how I tend to use it. Picture it like fishing. You're using it to bait players. And on that note, please don't sit at the edge of the map casting random holos in hopes of getting your one glorious sniper kill. This isn't Battlefield, fellas. I will usually always run right behind my holo because the moment an enemy fires at it, I want to be right there to catch them off guard. I cast and chase it down corridors and use it for checking corners most of the time. On this map, if you know there are people in this corner, you can send your holo as a decoy while you flank around the other side. Another way I use it is to cover my flanks. For instance, I cast it down this hallway while I stand here and look for enemies on the opposite side. This isn't a fail-safe way to protect me, but most of the time I'll be able to hear the enemies shoot my holo, which should alert me to turn and engage them before they realize their mistake. In Bounty Hunt, you can place holos at the bank to draw fire, and even cast holos at points where you feel enemies may be approaching from. In CTF, I use it to check flag rooms. Also, the Holo Pilot will mimic the flag carriers, so I usually cast a flag carrying holo in a different direction than I intend on heading. I also cast it into my own base to distract any unexpected campers. When capping a hard point, I try and find a location to place a holo that will be the first line of sight from most of the entrances, while I camp on one or two of the other entrances. So there's a few tips and tricks on the Holo Pilot. Also on a side note, ticks, sentries, and auto titans will also attempt to fetch your distraction stick. For those of you who are going to jump all over the comment section with your foolproof plan of beating a Holo Pilot by simply putting one bullet into them, then readjusting, well, that's the whole point of the holo. I want you to shoot at least one bullet into it. There are no silencers to hide you from when you open fire, and you're not a Jedi with Jedi reflexes, so even if you begin to readjust quickly, you're most likely already too late. Oh, and the comments I get about being able to detect a Holo Pilot by looking at it is untrue as well. Now, if a pilot is walking slowly in a straight line for miles, it's obviously a tell. But I believe I mentioned earlier that it isn't Battlefield, so sitting in a distance casting out random pilots isn't a good use of this ability. With the time to kill being so fast, enemies can't afford not to shoot the Holo Pilot if they see it first. Also, there is no pro league or ranked play or even skill-based matchmaking. So when you're playing online, it's pretty safe to assume the average enemy will chase, shoot, and even punch your holo for what seems like an unbelievable amount of time, giving you the upper hand. Now, if you're playing with and against people that know you well, you won't be able to effectively use the Holo Pilot the same way over and over and over again. You will have to change up your tricks and tactics in order to keep tricking your opponents. With all that said, I hope there was at least a few things, maybe, you might have learned from this video. Holo Pilot is by far my favorite ability, but like I've said from the beginning, the game is super balanced, and players can enjoy and play very well with just about every ability in the game, with the exception of Cloak. Cloak is garbage. Just kidding. Sorry. I was being cocky again and telling people what to use and what not to use. Uh-oh. Heaven forbid you got offended on the interwebs. If you would like to join our growing network, the info is on screen. Also, I live stream daily over on Twitch at twitch.tv/SlyGumbi. The link will be in the description below. Come check out me and the fellas. I'm always playing with viewers and meeting new people from the community there. And on that note, I'll leave you all with one last offensive comment. Stop using AWOLs and hemlocks, you Call of Duty rejects. Triggered.